Should you use cruise control when you're towing a trailer with your Ford Super Duty? And what's all this talk about locking out gears? When should you lock out gears? Why should you lock out gears? Those questions are two main topics we're going to talk about in today's video. Stick around. Well, hello again and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, go down to the bottom there and hit that subscribe button for me. We got lots of Super Duty content for you, specifically on the 7.3, but a lot of the stuff applies to the diesels as well, concerning the 10-speed and the 4-wheel drive. I want to address a couple of questions that I saw recently on a Facebook post here, and actually I see these same questions asked a lot. Here's this post right here. Cruise control and locking out gears made a huge difference for me. Went camping last weekend. Pulling there, I used cruise control a lot and did not lock out gears. The truck searched for gears a lot, and trans temp was around 224. 224 is not bad, we all know that. Tow home did not use cruise control at all and locked out 9th and 10th gear. Truck towed great, never searched for gears, and the highest temp I saw was 214. Going to be driving this way from now on. So to address a little bit about, his statement, there's people that drive in cruise and there's people that don't. I do a little bit of both. 90% of the time, if I'm towing my trailer, I'm not using cruise control. That doesn't mean you can't. When I had a diesel, I did it all the time because it would just go, and I never had to worry about it downshifting. Obviously, we know the gassers, they need to downshift to make power, and running, let's say a 3/4 ton truck or even a 1 ton with either that 355 gear or a 373 gear like I have in this truck, which by the way is a 22 F350 if you're new to the channel, with the 7.3 Godzilla. It's a crew cab short box. When you're towing with a gas engine, especially with the 355 or the 373 gear, you're probably not going to stay in 9th or 10th if you get there at all. If you're going to tow in cruise, I recommend you run a lower gear. So a lot of times, if I do get to the point where I want to tow in cruise, I'm going to be doing 65, maybe 62 with my fifth wheel behind me, and I'll put it in 7th gear. Sometimes I'll even put it in manual mode 7th gear, or I'll just lock out 8, 9, and 10. That way I don't have to worry about it downshifting on me. It's making good power in 7th gear. It'll climb most hills. If I come up on a hill that I know it's going to downshift, I'll bump it down to 6, so I'll then lock out 7th or manually shift down from 7 to 6. That gives me adequate power usually to climb just about any hill, and I'm not going to downshift beneath 6th gear. Locking out gears comes up a lot. People ask, how do I lock out gears? Well, let me show you. Let me get you turned around here. So your gear shift should have a plus and a minus button. So when you press that plus and minus, you put it in drive here so you can see them light up. Oh, we got to turn the parking brake off or it's going to beep at us. So let's get you zoomed in here. So I'm going to press my minus button. You'll see 10th is gone, 9th is gone, 8th. I can lock out all the gears I want, all the way down to 1st. Now, you'd say, well, wouldn't that be the same as manual shifting? No, it's not. It is if you go all the way down, and then you have to let it have each gear on its way up. But that's only manually upshifting. If I pull it down into manual, now you'll see we're in manual 1. And if I press the up button, manual 2, it won't go above manual 2. It will let me start in manual 2nd. So back to drive, and there's all 10 gears again. So when I tow, I'm typically like locking out 8, 9, and 10. If I get on a nice flat stretch of ground, I'll let it have 8th gear. But that's what locking out gears is. And so that's this plus and minus right here on your gear shifter. You'll see a lot in comments. In fact, this guy's page is full of them, or his post is full of them rather. Some people agree with him, some disagree. One guy says and here I got roasted for this in my last towing video I did with my gas mileage. I got roasted for towing 70, 75 mile an hour, and here this guy says once up to speed 70, 75, pull the shifter into manual and set M8. So that's manual, uh, eighth gear. Then he says if you're running a 355 truck, probably seventh, and then set your cruise. Enjoy shift-free towing at roughly 2,500 RPM. Absolutely. My 373 truck, if I'm in seventh gear doing, I don't think I'm doing 70. I might be doing 68, um, 65 to 68, and I'm going to be running right in that 2,500. That's a perfect RPM to tow at. If I get that flat ground, yeah, I can give it eighth gear. A lot of times I'll leave it in drive, but I'll lock out 9 and 10, and I won't use cruise because I can let the truck gain speed on a downhill and let it lose a little speed on an uphill. The difference between me running the throttle with my foot versus the truck using cruise control is the truck is going to adjust the minute it drops below that 80 or 70 or 60 or whatever you've got your cruise set at. So um, if I'm running the throttle manually with my foot and it loses a couple mile an hour, I just hold my foot steady. It's no big deal because I know as I get, to the top of the hill, there's either going to be a downhill or a flat, and I'm going to gain that speed back. Now, I don't typically do that when I'm in heavy traffic because I don't want to be an annoyance to everyone around me. So if I am in heavier traffic and I need to hold that speed, then I will again. I'll either run in seventh or try to speed up and run with traffic. But so one of the other comments that this guy got roasted for, talking about, and it might have been somebody's reply to another comment. Guys are always jumping in there saying, it's an automatic transmission. It's designed to shift for you. Yep, it sure is. That's exactly it. It's automatic. It's automatically shifting your gears. So if you're pulling a trailer and you just put it in tow haul and you leave it, you don't lock out any gears, the truck should run in whatever gear it needs to run in to pull that load. The difference is if I lock out ninth and 10th and I hit a flat or maybe a downhill, I am not allowing my truck to shift up any more gears than whatever gear I have it limited to. Let's say I've locked out ninth and 10th, I'm letting it have eighth gear. It's not going to go any higher, which means I'm shifting less. So every time your transmission shifts, that's wear and tear, it creates heat. So that's the benefit to locking out those gears. The people to the people that want to argue, it's an automatic, put it in tow haul and leave it in drive and let the transmission do its thing, that's fine if that's how you want to drive your truck, but some people like more control of that. I grew up driving manuals and putting it in whatever gear I wanted when I wanted it there. So I love the fact that Ford gives you the ability with a push button to lock out gears or to put it in manual mode and manually shift all 10 gears. Now, do I manually shift all 10? No, but I love being able to manually downshift with the touch of a button when I'm coming up on a hill. So again, if you want to run, in drive and let your transmission shift up and down and let the truck do whatever it wants, go for it. It's your truck. I'm not going to do it to mine because I understand how a automatic transmission works, and I know what that's doing to my transmission. Now, is it going to ruin it overnight? No, but I plan on keeping my truck a long time, and I want to save all the wear and tear on it I can. So I enjoy the manual control, and it doesn't bother me to lock out gears and take a little more control of it. So the other question was using tow haul mode. Came up a lot in the comments about whether you should or shouldn't use tow haul. Um, to address that specifically, tow haul mode, it does a lot to, enhance your towing experience, right? It changes your shift points. It holds those gears longer so that when it does shift, it's not going to immediately turn around and downshift because it's trying to get you in that optimal RPM range before it shifts. So if you're towing, let's say a 5,000 pound trailer and you're not using tow haul, you're putting more wear and tear on the clutches in your torque converter because they're not locking as firmly as quickly. So is it going to ruin your transmission overnight? Probably not, but I did actually ruin a transmission, and this isn't really apples to apples. This is apples to oranges, excuse me. It was a 2004 Silverado. I did not use tow haul mode because I was trying to get better gas mileage, and I roasted the torque converter in that thing. Fortunately for me, Chevy worked with me on a warranty and I only had to pay part of the repair, but I absolutely ruined my torque converter towing a 4,000 pound trailer, which is not that much, um, without using tow haul mode. So never again. Absolutely, I always use tow haul mode. So hopefully that helps clear the air a little bit. Again, showed you the manual, how to lock out gears, how to put it in manual. We talked about whether you should use cruise or not. So anyway, yeah, hopefully I cleared up some confusion for you and didn't confuse you more. If you've got additional questions after watching this, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to address them for you if I can. And if I can't, I'll try to find the answer. So as always, I hope you found the information helpful. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.